Okay. So you're live now with Facebook.
Okay. Hello. I'm talking to myself at the moment, probably, but that's alright.
First of all, you can talk us about your day.
Okay.
Obviously, happy birthday, 28 today.
Yep.
What did you do the first thing this morning when you woke up besides come to the track?
Checked my phone. There was a lot of messages. It's always funny when it's your birthday. You have all sorts of people message you, which I always find a bit peculiar. It's just another revolution of the sun. Franz kindly reminded me last night that I'm the oldest Toro Rosso driver in history, which made me feel really good. But actually, it wasn't the best day. I have to say, we had an engine. Well, it wasn't an engine failure, but we had something go wrong with the engine. A lot of smoke to start the day. So we missed free practice 1. We had a pretty smooth free practice 2. Took me a few laps to get back up to speed in the Formula 1 car. I've been changing back and forth cars quite a lot recently, but a little bit of time to find overnight. So I've got some questions there now, do I?
Yep.
All right. Happy birthday. Yep.
Yeah. And to fill it, you can talk about the changes between the LMP1 car and the Formula 1 car and the adaptations you've had.
Yeah, so positioning wise is quite different actually. We sit a lot more upright in the LMP1 car, having the roof over your head and a lot of different sensations, but yeah, after 5 or 6 laps you feel at home. And are your neck good enough for Formula 1 G-forces? I think in the race I'll probably rest it a little bit. I think all the drivers will around Interlagos. It's one of the toughest tracks on the calendar. I think the good news is I'm pretty race fit. We do a lot of laps in the LMP1 car. We also have pretty high cornering speed, not as much as Formula 1. Modern Formula 1 cars, amazing and high speed. Leaves a big smile on the face, but Interlagos is a tough track. But I feel ready for it. Yep. Maybe I'm too honest. So I'll try and find another question. Most people are just telling me happy birthday, so thank you. Another revolution of the sun. Go hard from New Zealand. Yeah, actually the support in New Zealand's been pretty amazing actually. I've tried not to read too much of it. I've been trying to keep my feet on the ground. It's been quite surreal for me the last week. So I think when I get home at the end of the year, I'll have time to reflect and fully understand what's just happened to me. Le Mans winner, Formula 1 debut, all these things. It's been quite amazing. So, greatest influence you have had in your career, asked by David Donovan. Greatest influence. It's a great question, but I don't have a good answer. I don't know. I guess I've had to teach I've learned a lot about myself over the last 10 years, and I've taken advice from a lot of people. It's not always good advice, so you have to pick and choose a little bit on the advice you take. I think Mark Webber was a good influence for me. Having him as a teammate in LMP1 was very good for me. Not so much driving side, but off track, seeing the bigger picture. Yeah, as a racing driver, it's quite easy to get focused on the wrong thing, and he was quite good at helping with that.
What's your favourite pizza topping?
Pizza topping. I don't know who asked that. Has to be cheese, right? I mean, cheese and tomatoes, margarita.
So you don't like pineapple on pizza?
I might offend people if I say no. I'm not a big fan. Okay, I'm just scrolling through.
What was the reason?
Favorite driver in history. Okay, so it's funny. As a kid, I was a massive John Lacey fan. I don't have a good reason for that. I think obviously he was incredible, but you know, when you're a kid, you take on someone as a bit of an idol, and he was it for me. He had the same racing number. I was number 28 as a kid as well, and I always supported Lacey when I was very, very young. Why did you choose the car number 28? So it was always my number as a kid. It was my father's number before. It was my brother's, and it's funny. It doesn't. I mean, I'm not superstitious. At least I don't think I am. But it's funny how a number ends up having quite a sentimental value, especially when you have it from a young age. Somehow it feels like you own the number. I know other people will probably say the same thing about the same number, but yeah, holds a significance. Okay. There's a few questions I can't answer, but Do you think you have a chance to be a world champion in the future? Actually, I am a world champion, so 2 times. But I'm guessing you're meaning Formula One. I think if I said no, that would be the wrong. I mean, you have to dream big, and if I hadn't dreamed big, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So that has to be the goal. Favorite track? Somebody asked. Actually, sorry, there's a more important one here by Anne Lambert. Did Toro Rosso get you a cake for your birthday? No. So I'm just looking around a bit in disgust. Maybe it's coming later. I don't know. Everyone's looking nervous now. Sorry, favourite track? It's always a hard one. I have a few. So Le Mans, Macau, Spa, Bathurst, maybe Monaco as well. Almost a home track now. So that was 5. That was. Yeah. So will you be racing Le Mans again next year? I don't know. That was from Luke Wharton. I don't know what I'm going to be racing. So okay, who is the funniest driver? Funniest looking, or I'm good friends. I'm really good friends with Daniel Ricciardo, and I think he probably gets the most laughs in the pit lane. And he's a good friend of mine as well. Are you a Maori? Someone asked me. No. So not that it would be a bad thing, but I think you can tell by the colour of my skin I'm not. That's shocking, I think. Let's see. I'm looking for another good question. Hold on. Who is the best current driver on the grid in your opinion? It always depends. You're only as good as your last race, right? So I guess Max won the last race, but I mean, there's so many good. I mean, I think I don't know. There's a few good ones in the pit lane. We have to say there's a high level here. How does the Toro Rosso compare to LMP1? So actually, how the team structure is pretty similar. That made my transition somewhat comfortable. Obviously, learning the Formula One race, a modern Formula One race car, was a really steep learning curve. But in terms of the interaction within the team, the meetings, how many engineers I'm dealing with, all that's very familiar to me. It's a similar amount of staff. So how the team's operated is quite similar. Pressure-wise, also, there's a lot of pressure driving the Porsche Le Mans, and equally starting Formula One Grand Prix. They're both up there in terms of pressure. In terms of driving the car, high-speed corners in Formula One is amazing at the moment. That was a big eye-opener in Austin for the first time through the first section. That was pretty incredible. So someone's asked about doing a shoey, so I guess I have to get on the podium to do that first. So maybe in the future, you never know. How's the relationship with Pierre? Good, actually. We only met for the first time in Mexico properly. I've shaken his hand before in the pit lane a couple of times when I was at Formula One races. But yeah, he's a nice kid. I think I can call him a kid. I'm quite a lot older than him. But yeah, so far we got on very well. Someone asked if 2 hours of racing is a bit baby play. I think it's less than 2 hours, but I can assure you that it feels long in a Formula One car. And anyway, in LMP1 we also only spend more or less 2 hours at a time in the car. We share the load between a couple of us. Did you expect to come back to Formula One day? Not really. I thought it was very unrealistic. But I always dreamt, and the dream was always in the back of my mind. And I knew that I'm a better driver than I ever have been, and I'm more rounded than what I was when I was 18. So I knew if I had the chance, I felt like I was ready for the chance. Realistically, I wasn't sure that was going to happen. But yeah, you never know in this world, and I'm happy that my dream was still there and came true. Are you going to be in Yas Marina? Yes, I believe that's confirmed. The Fabi behind is nodding that I can confirm that, so I'll be in Abu Dhabi. Do you enjoy your stay at Toro Rosso? Honestly, I feel really at home, and everyone's made me feel very comfortable. And okay, now I get the cake, so. This is embarrassing. And they put the Australian flag up. You put the Australian flag? Oh, is that the Australian flag?
Oh,
thank you.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's quite funny.
Wait, what's... Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Cut the cake? Can I stop answering questions now and enjoy the cake?
Yeah, we can cut the cake.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Maybe again another time.
Cheers. Thank you for joining us.